Hello everybody and welcome to the International Institute of Coaching and Mentoring webinar, Make This Your Blockbuster Year, with me, Eleanor Barber. Now before we begin, I will just give you a quick overview of the IICNM. It is the officially recognised and preferred international accreditation body for coaches, mentors and training providers, creating excellence in the coaching and mentoring professions. Resources for our members include webinars, interviews, articles, recommended reading, community, forums, and the monthly magazine. If you're interested in becoming accredited or to upgrade your accreditation, or to ask a question or find out more or ask any of the questions, the first thing to do is to visit the website. You can log into your members area and contact Lauren Schmall. Now, her email address is loren@iicandm.org. That's lauren@iicnm.org. Now, back to today's presentation. This is Make This Your Blockbuster Year. So we will be looking back over the last year, looking at things that have happened so far and what we can do to make next year your best year yet. Now, these questions have been part of a review that Nikki Wild has created. So if you are a private client of Nikki's, at the end of each year, you will receive these set of questions to review your year and then to look forward to the next year. Now, many of you may know Nikki already. She is our head of education here at the IICNM, and she has very kindly allowed me to share these questions with you. Now, there is a theme of around these questions. I know I do a very similar thing with my clients, and I know many other people do as well. Nikki's is brilliant because it's actually based around the theme of movie. So we're talking about blockbuster years. Think about your blockbuster movie, these big, spectacular movies. If your life was a movie, these are the sort of questions that we need to be thinking about. So imagine you're watching a film of the last 12 months of your business or your life, and you've got all these plot twists, you've got all these different scenes going on, it's all played out on that big movie screen. So just to kind of get into the idea of this, I mean, what sort of movie is it if you were to watch a movie based on the last 12 months of your life, whether that's specifically your business or whether that's the kind of your personal life? Would it be a drama or a thriller or a comedy? I mean, what sort of thing? What sort of movie would it be? Are you going to be review your year? Are you kind of chuckling happily, or are you thinking, "Gosh, that was quite an intense year"? So just kind of just get into that kind of feel of what that movie felt like for you. And as we go through these and ask the questions, it would be a nice idea to pause and have a good think about the questions, and then maybe write down your answers. So do kind of take your time over this. Don't feel like you have to kind of keep up with the same track that I'm talking. Do pause this webinar and take the time to think about these questions and answer them in the way that you can feel kind of best fits the end of the year that you've just had. So thinking back to this last movie that's happened, what were the high points? What were the best bits, the highlights? When you've got reviewers reviewing your movie, what were those brilliant high points, the things that made you really kind of be proud of your year? But what were also the low points? What were those times where either things could have been handled better, or things just didn't go your way? I mean, what were they? Take time to acknowledge them, write them down, and just acknowledge that they've happened. And now look at the roles that you were cast in. So, were you the hero of the movie? Were you kind of we the main role? Hopefully, in your own movie, you should be kind of the main character in your role. But is that how you really felt? Did you feel that you were actually more of a kind of a side character? Were you somebody that was really just going along with the story? So have a think about these questions. You know, those really kind of the best points of the year, those real high points. But then also take time to look at those low points, and then look at were you an action hero? Were you more of a drama queen? These different roles that you can play in a movie. Just think about how you were in those movies, and then just take time now just to pause the screen and have a good think about those questions. So looking forward to next year, with any good movie, it takes planning before they start filming. Um, so let's just start planning this movie. Start thinking about how you would like it to be. Um, what role would you like to have for yourself next year? Do you want to be that mayor, the star of the show? Do you want to be a kind of a supporting character? Do you want to be a behind the scenes person? Or do you want to be out there and kind of in the spotlight? And it doesn't have to be one single role. It could be that in one aspect of your business you want to be taking a lead role, but then in say a different aspect you might want to be somebody who's more behind the scenes. So you can kind of switch things around. You can adapt yourself and the role that you're playing to these different situations, and it could be in your business or it could be in your home life. Just think about those different roles that you want to play, and be quite specific. Write down exactly what sort of role that you'd like to be playing, or several roles. And now look at the top 3 goals that you'd like to work on for the next 12 months. I mean, what are those 3 goals that are going to make this the record-breaking blockbuster? Everyone can have goals, and every movie has a plot. But what is that plot? What is that twist? What is that thing that is going to make this movie the best movie ever? This is going to be the big one. What are those 3 goals that can really make that movie? So again, just take time to pause the webinar and just make some notes. These goals aren't things that will just kind of pop into your head. They're really good, kind of chunky goals, and take time to really kind of solidify them and kind of build a good story around these 3 goals. And I think at this point it might be a good thing to mention that we do have webinars that cover things like goals, and how to make those goals, how to decide those goals, and how to form them into really, really good goals. So if you do want to find out more about how to create really, really good solidified goals, then you can either get in touch with me or Nikki or Lauren at the end of this webinar. Our details will be there, and then we can go through kind of how you create those really, really good goals if that's something that you need. So now it's time to make that movie. What is going to be the biggest challenge that you need to overcome in order to make that happen? I mean, no movie is a straightforward story. There's always a plot twist. There's always some big goal that something that the protagonist needs to get overcome. What is going to be that big challenge? What's that thing that could possibly stop you that you're going to deal with that's going to make you the hero of this movie? And of course, no movie star, no main character does it alone. And even James Bond, we all think of James Bond as this man out there on his own, but he's got the support of Q, with all his gadgets and all those really funky cars and all sorts of clever pens and stuff like that. He can't become who he is without having that support group behind him. So if you're having kind of visions of becoming James Bond, who would be your Q? Who would be your M? What other sort of characters could you be in? And look at those kind of support groups that they have. Do you already have a really good kind of peer group or support team that are already helping you? Or are there people that you want to add in? And they might not be kind of a specific person yet, but you know that you may need help in a particular area. And so maybe one of the things that one of the challenges that you need to overcome is finding that right person who can be there to support you. And also knowing that you might not find them straight away, that you may you might not even know who it is that you need straight away, and that you might need to go through several iterations and say, I know I need support in this area. I'll take on an extra member of staff or a contractor, and find that actually that isn't quite a good fit. But that's absolutely fine, as long as you're kind of learning from that and kind of realizing what it is that you really do need to support you, and then you can audition people as the picture there shows. But do again, just take time to think, well, who can help me get through these big challenges, and who is going to be there to support you to get you through them. So we've made a movie, but anyone can make a movie. So what is going to make it the absolute blockbuster? What are you going to do to boost your success? And what are you going to not do to boost your success? So these two questions here, it's quite important to look at things kind of from both sides, but to not be too negative about things. So if you're going to boost your success, what will you stop doing? Don't get too hung up around, oh, I'm terrible at doing this, or I'm terrible at doing that. I spend far too much time doing that. But do kind of, as you kind of take those stop kind of points, so, I think things like, I get distracted very, very easily. If I have to do report writing, I would much rather be doing something else. So I need to stop procrastinating around writing reports. But that's not enough. So to boost my success, like, yes, I can stop procrastinating over kind of my report writing. But to boost the success, I will need to start becoming kind of more focused on my reports, or come up with a good plan that I can follow to write these reports. So as you look at these things that you need to stop doing, look at the opposite side of that and look at those things that you need to start doing to kind of balance out that stop. And then it may be that also there are just other things that you just really want to start doing. Write all of them down. Write down everything that you really, really want to start doing. Or maybe that you actually discovered something in the last couple of years that has been really, really successful, that has really helped you, and that you need to do more of it. Just you need to continue doing exactly what you did last year. Again, write all of that down. Don't kind of gloss over those bits that you're already doing really, really well. So do take that moment to acknowledge them and to acknowledge that you need to keep doing them in order to continue that success. Now, moving on to this slide here, when you achieve your goals, how will you celebrate your success? Now, this is one of the most important questions, I think. So many of us are so used to setting goals, especially if we're in the kind of the coaching and mentoring world. We know how to set goals, and we're also kind of used to achieving them as well. If I kind of sound kind of rather pompous there, saying, "Oh, yes, of course I'll achieve my goals," but with the way that we know how to set goals, and that we know how to move towards them, because of course this is what we're doing with our clients. We're helping them to achieve their goals. So what we forget is that actually achieving our goals is something worth celebrating, and that we don't just achieve a goal, accept it, move on to the next thing. As a friend of mine always said, if you think of that time when you have the carrot and the stick, you're always moving towards that carrot. But sometimes you need to just stop and eat the carrot. And I actually have written on my wall, "Eat more carrots," which I know what that means. Some people think it's just purely to do with eating vegetables, but it is just stop and acknowledge that you've done something really, really well, and that you can celebrate this, and that you should celebrate it. So when you're setting your goals, it's equally important to say that when I do achieve my goal, I'm going to celebrate it in this way. It might be a small thing. It might be that you go to just have a takeaway instead of cooking that night. Or it might be a really big thing. It might be that you're going to go on a holiday. It doesn't matter at all. Whatever it is that you know that you need to achieve, it's always a really, really kind of nice idea to make sure that you acknowledge it once you have succeeded, and that you celebrate it, and that you give yourself a pat on the back and say, "Well done, you really have done this." So do take a moment to write down what you're going to do once you achieve those goals, and then to look at kind of, if you could pick one skill, what would you choose? That one skill that could ensure that you're going to succeed and that you're going to celebrate. What is that one skill? And do you already have it? Chances are you probably do. But if you don't, how are you going to get that skill? Can you go to your peer group? Can you go back to that support network, those people that are going to be helping you make this blockbuster? Or is it something that you need to learn yourself? Either way, write down what that skill is, and write down how you're going to use that skill, and whether or not you need to do some research or go on a training course, or bring in other people. It's completely open. It's completely allowed to not have that skill already. It's very easy to pass it on to somebody else, or if you want to learn to do it yourself, that's also absolutely fine. So again, just take a moment to write down kind of that skill and how you're going to use it. And that's it. There's very few questions, aren't there? But they're really, really good, powerful questions that can really highlight things that you're already doing, things that you've already had a year. And there have been highs, and yes, there have been lows, but there are things that you can learn from this. There are things that you can move forward there, and to bring up these new ideas that you can improve on. They bring in different people, more different skills, or to acknowledge that actually you've already had a brilliant year and you just need to do more of it. But either way, if you do have questions about what you want to do next with some of those outcomes, then of course the International Institute of Coaching and Mentoring does have a list of accredited professional coaches and mentors who can help you if that's what you need. And of course, we do have many other webinars that can help with things like goal setting. And of course, we have our business skills and the mindset kind of webinars as well that can help you kind of to continue this journey. So again, I'd just like to acknowledge Nikki and say thank you very much, Nikki, for allowing us to share these questions. And if you do have any questions relating directly to this webinar, you can get in touch with me. I'm Eleanor at iicandm.org. That's ELEANOR at iicandm.org. Or, of course, you can get in touch with Lauren. So just to summarise, thank you ever so much for joining us on this webinar. Do get in touch with suggestions of the subjects if you want to learn more about goal setting, if you want to learn more about different skills. Do let us know. We're always very interested to hear what are the most useful webinars that you've had, what we can do more of. So do get in touch with Lauren if you have any kind of general questions, or myself. And again, Lauren's email address is LOREN at iicandm.org. And thank you very much, and I wish you all the best for your next year. Thank you and goodbye.